right, that was one hell of a movie.
It was great.
It was, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 Nicolas Cages in terms of delivering the Cage experience.
100%.
Like the facial expressions.
The hands.
The
hands. Hey, mama.
the Elvis hands every time he like looks at himself in the mirror.
Points, the dialogue. It was all very Nick Cage.
The Wicker Man-esque. Like,
yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
If you're a Nicolas Cage super fan, Ghost Rider is worth watching for no other reason than Nicolas Cage. The story is irrelevant.
Totally. I was only paying attention when I needed to see Nick Cage do Nick Cage.
Yeah, exactly. All the side characters are garbage.
Yeah.
The plot is garbage.
Except Eva Mendes.
Eva Mendes' tits are not garbage.
Not in the slightest.
Not at all. You are now listening to Booty Whiskey.
Booty Whiskey Podcast.
With Patrick William. I'm a chef and a music producer. And...
Austin Jenny, chef, movie enthusiast, hardcore.
And a man with whiskey in his booty.
On every occasion.
Pretty much. Watched Ghost Rider.
Nicolas Cage, 2007?
2007.
Question mark? Yeah.
This is towards the end of his prime time, but this is still like pretty peak Cage. 2007. I did want to look at his filmography just to get a sense of like where
Please, run me through
in
it.
the timeline that this was taking place.
I want 3 before and 3 after. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is 1 year after The Wicker Man. So
nice. He's feeling it. The bees are still there.
Those facial expressions when his skull was lighting on fire are all Wicker Man.
Or getting punched and laughing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The manic laughter. Legendary.
Very Mandy-esque too with that. You could see that come out later on in his career.
Yeah, it's been like a major tool in his acting toolkit. For a long time. The manic laughter.
Screams. Yeah. Just throwing
his head back and forth while in pain. Incredible.
Talking into the mirror and then spooking himself was wonderful.
1995 was Leaving Las Vegas, which is sort of... I think he won an Oscar for that one. And that was like his big...
He was a throb then. He was a big time
It was a big breakout for him. Mm-hmm. He became like a... And not in like an action movie way... Like in a serious professional actor sense, he was respected. You know, 1995, mid-90s.
I would compare him to like Leonardo right now. He's a little like honestly, you know, like but sillier, you know, overall
for sure. But he was seen as someone with like real chops, like up and coming serious actor. And then the very next year, 1996, was The Rock.
Sick.
Yeah, Sean Connery. Yeah. And big budget explosions, action movie. And then the very next, oh my God, this filmography is insane. Year to year in the 90s. Going from Leaving Las Vegas to The Rock, followed by Con Air. We forgot about Con Air.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Dude, okay, so we were putting together a list of Nick Cage movies that we could use for this series. Yes, for the listeners, by the way, this whole series of episodes will be exclusively Nicolas Cage films.
That's why we're here.
It's why we're here.
It's all we care about right now.
As film enthusiasts, if you don't like Nick Cage...
This is not your podcast.
Unfollow.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're done.
Or if you hate Nick Cage, though, maybe give it a listen.
Yeah, do follow. We might convert some people.
Yeah, we don't need any medium Nick Cage fans in here.
Okay, so The Rock, followed by Con Air, followed by Face Off with John Travolta, where they literally swap bodies, well, faces.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
A few years pass, there's a couple lesser-known movies I'll skip, and then you get Gone in 60 Seconds in 2000. A few more years pass, you get Adaptation in 2002, which is another,
I've seen that one.
It's a really artsy, well written, like a very good movie.
So it's not Ghost Rider.
Right. So he did a bunch of years of big budget action. And then he was like, I need to prove I can act again. Right? Did adaptation.
I'm going to take myself seriously for a little while.
You get Matchstick Men coming out after that, which is, again, on the more, like, dramatic side, like, quirky. National Treasure, Lord of War, Weatherman, Wicker Man, and then Ghost Rider. So he's been making...
Huge lineup.
Huge lineup from 95 to 2007. Yeah. He's been doing a serious, like, big budget Hollywood movie every single year.
But also fun indie... Yeah, you know, like just both. Like serious, not serious sometimes, but yeah.
Back and forth. But
I love that.
Every year, he's not taking any breaks. Worth pointing out right now, at the front end of this series, 132 credits in his filmography to date.
All 5 out of 5 on the Cage level, I'm sure.
Dude, incredible. So truly a prolific actor. And we should get into some of the bio of Ghost Rider, I guess. We've fed ChatGPT a prompt to summarize this for us.
Here we go.
So we're going to see what happens. We might be relying on ChatGPT in the future for some...
Hey, got to use the technology we're given, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Ghost Rider, 2007, Nicolas Cage. Ghost Rider is a supernatural action film where Johnny Blaze, played by Nicolas Cage, makes a pact with the devil to save his father's life. As a result, he transforms into the Ghost Rider, a fiery anti-hero with supernatural abilities. Blaze must confront evil forces and struggle with his own demonic nature while seeking redemption. The movie explores themes of morality and the consequences of making deals with the devil.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, redemption is a big part of this movie.
Totally.
Obviously, he makes a shitty deal with the devil to save his father. And
betrayed immediately.
His father immediately dies.
Like day after.
The next scene. The next morning, he gets cancer x-rays, which we noticed seemed extremely stupid upon watching. We're like, don't you get MRIs or some other type of scan for cancer? X-rays are for your bones. I'm pretty sure.
He could have had bone cancer. I don't think
he did. They did not specify what type of cancer.
Bone cancer in X-rays. Unimportant, nonetheless.
I did get the sense that the filmmakers or like the screenwriter was writing the most dumbed down version of a script.
Everything was super like lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
If you could please everyone, we're in.
Yeah. It really felt like they did not have faith in me to understand like what was happening.
These complex Ghost Rider theories.
Yeah, if they didn't spoon feed it to me. So everything was dumb and shallow. And like in the first, in like sort of the prologue of the movie, he's standing at a literal crossroads talking to the devil. And it's just like there's a thunderstorm coming in. It's so on the nose, like how you're supposed to feel. And with the metaphors.
Everything. The music, the lightning flashes, like you said, and the camera flashes too. I heard a lot of clicks throughout the movie.
Yeah, a lot of fast zooms, which I appreciate. I appreciate a good fast camera zoom with sound effects where it whooshes.
Yeah, sure.
There was a lot of those at the end.
There's like 6.
Zooming into his eyes.
And then into the devil's eyes.
Yeah, and then back to the cage, back to the devil. eyes. So some fun, campy camera work.
Totally.
Which I'm not mad at.
Yeah. I actually wanted to bring that up. It was happily self-aware most of the time.
Yeah.
I would say, you know. They knew it was Nick Cage. They knew it was going to be hilarious. They played into it well.
I would definitely describe it as campy and fun, primarily. It was also big budget.
Totally. Dude, box office hit $228 million.
It's so big, dude.
Back then in 2007, huge success. That's why there's a sequel.
It's a big movie, and it was a Marvel movie. I think we agreed X-Men was the first. We should look up X-Men.
Yeah,
but
that was like the first one was like 2000 or something, I think.
Yeah, first X-Men movie was 2000, so 7 years before Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
but between X-Men and the run of X-Men movies after it, I'd be hard-pressed to find... Maybe Elektra?
So this is actually the same director.
As Elektra?
Yeah, and Daredevil.
And
so
Daredevil.
I think both of those might have came first. I think Daredevil was like 2004-ish.
Yeah, okay.
Elektra like 2006, I would say.
And then Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy directs these three and Grumpy Old Men 1 and 2.
Good lineup.
I know.
So this guy had a big hand in like Marvel comic book movies pre-MCU.
Exactly. Pre all Avengers, anything like that. Yeah.
And before that, it was only X-Men, which people don't even really... I mean, the fans associate it with Marvel, but...
Comic book fans,
these days, I don't think that when people think Marvel, they don't think X-Men first. They think like the modern
Of course,
MCU,
Avengers.
which they're actually going to be bringing the X-Men back in the fold in the future, in the next phase.
Yeah, next phase.
But phase 80. But yeah, at the time, this was like not something that was being done really. Like the Marvel movies weren't like big. It was
superheroes
just, like,
weren't so horribly dreadful as they are right now.
Yeah.
You know, and
so it was like campy, fun. They were
cheeky.
just like, it was cheeky.
Yeah.
Nick Cage was acting like an Elvis impersonator, like
mama.
for the whole first half of the movie, like pointing and doing like that Elvis like Jedi grab, like Jedi mind trick grab.
Oh, he's gonna get you.
Yeah, like at your
he's
throat.
gonna point you, and then he's gonna get you.
Really ridiculous.
I'd love to talk about the accents.
Ooh, please.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Texas,
New York, casual Midwest sometimes. I mean,
these are all coming from one man.
all coming from the Ghost Rider himself. In fact.
Yeah.
And then when he first gets into the Ghost Rider too, he's just a demonic force, just go to hell. It is there's nothing else there.
Okay, so the movie starts with his father in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. They're like carny riders,
I think so. Or just the
like
southwest
stunt riders. Let's just go with Texas, but it's southern. Very clearly, that's the setting. And at some point in the movie, it like transitioned to like, were they in New York? Like he was riding up skyscrapers.
I think they stayed in Texas. He was probably in Dallas.
That was supposed to be Dallas. That was like the Empire State Building, dude.
It could have been. I guess, I don't know. We did talk through some of that. The build
Eva Mendes has like a penthouse apartment and was watching the Ghost
She's
Rider.
She's a reporter. Like, there's no fucking way.
The economics are inscrutable on that one. Yeah, but she has amazing tits, so she probably was able to work something out.
She did it. She won.
Yeah. She was a big plus for the movie.
Yeah. Huge. I bet she got paid for that shit.
Yeah. The presence of her breasts were valuable, appreciated, and displayed prominently by the director.
The whole time. Oiled up.
Yeah.
Glistening.
Like glistening. Every shirt was like low cut. It was a main selling point for her as an actress, obviously.
Yeah. Well, take what you can get.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm not saying she can't act. I'm just saying there are other reasons.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
To hire her. And there's two very valuable ones. But yeah, the accents were really out of control. Nicolas Cage gave like 20% effort at like the Texan accent early on.
I noticed throughout it, it's always at the end of sentences too. Mm-hmm. It's the normal voice. He's like, day.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. On my side. It's like he forgets that he's supposed to be doing it and then like remembers towards the end of the line. He's like, Texan, my side.
Previous to that though, it's by the books.
Nick Cage. It's pretty much that sort of like low, unenthusiastic, gruff voice he does. Like, I don't know what you expected me to do, but I just want to go to the restaurant.
I'm going to save everybody in here.
You all are crazy. I will not explain further. Yeah, so really good performance by Nicolas Cage. About 20% effort on the accents overall, I'd say, if that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was improvising anytime.
Yeah.
He could have been the whole time.
That's kind of his trademark is like he blurs the line between reading the script and just being fucking what are you doing? What's happening? He's just embodying the character.
So you told me recently that he's somewhat of a method actor, right?
No, not method.
Oh,
that would be like a
–
John, what's his name? John Lewis Day. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, yes. There Will Be Blood, yes.
Daniel Day-Lewis's method, there's a few other people that are method, where like they live as the character much to the annoyance of their coworkers and family and friends.
Everyone
they don't break character, or they try not to until the movie's over.
That sounds wretched.
What I saw Nicolas Cage saying in an interview is he has like what he described as a shamanistic approach to acting, where his goal as an actor is not necessarily to portray the character for the viewer's sake. It's to embody the character for his own sake in a transformative way. So he's trying to, if you believe what he's saying in that interview, he's attempting to actually like become the Ghost Rider and transform himself via that experience, like shamanistically, like the same way people change from a heavy psychedelic drug trip, where you might have like a life-altering experience or a perspective-shifting one. He's trying to do that manually.
That's a crazy role to take on, the Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Like that. I was thinking that throughout the whole film. Yeah. I'm like, so he was being the Ghost Rider the whole time, a creature of the night.
Yeah, he's trying to like broaden the human experience by basically like living out multiple different types of life perspectives. Like, what does Face Off get you in that regard? I now know what it's like to live as a man betrayed by my ally and share his face. It's incredible.
Bro, I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons we've decided to choose Nick Cage for our first guest. Or not guest. Our first...
let's call him a guest.
Let's call him a guest. Yeah,
he's in the room with us.
But yeah, no, nonetheless, he's just such a wide variety of every sort of acting you could put out there, you know? And I'm so excited to see what we find later on the line.
Yeah, he's got some extreme range.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, Pig. Oh, I'm so excited.
I can't wait for Pig. I can't wait for Mandy. Mm-hmm. And I have not yet seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Excellent.
And I can't wait to watch
Pedro Pascal, dude. Oh, my God.
His whole new, like, last 5-year run of, like, indie art house movies, it's incredible to see.
Yeah.
It's, like, reinvigorating my appreciation of him, of his earlier works.
Exactly, yeah. I used to treat him more as a joke, and now it's like a joke I'm in on. You know what I mean?
Totally. And it's a joke that you can only become in on, like, once you realize he's in on it, too. Like,
exactly.
He's not a bad actor. No. He just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. He's just out there doing what he does.
He's actually a good actor when he wants to be.
Yeah.
And he proves it from time to time. But then he just does National Treasure, and he just throws his middle finger up. He's like, I'm going to take a lot of money and make a wacky Indiana Jones treasure caper. And there's nothing you can do to stop me.
No.
And he's right.
Yeah. And he stole the goddamn Declaration of Independence, man.
Yeah, he did it. Incredible man. There were a couple quotations from the movie that I thought were truly memorable. You, I think, wrote this down too. He's being interviewed by Eva Mendes early in the movie.
She's a reporter, journalist.
Yeah, she's got a microphone in his face. She asks him a question. I think it was something along the lines of like, have you had to sacrifice anything to be here? And he just leans in, takes a long pause.
Long. Crucially long.
And just goes, yeah.
And then
it does not elaborate.
And then immediately turns around and drives his motorcycle off the fucking ramp, dude.
Yeah, he just dives in.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just possibly the best interview response you can give.
That's some great acting and writing right there.
Another quote that I've got here.
Yeah, hit me with it.
His collaborator, Mac, says to Eva Mendes, "We're riding the gravy train on biscuit wheels." And that just really stuck with me. Biscuit wheels.
Oh, my God. Before you came around, you should go back to where you're from.
Go back to where you're from, you tits. Take your oiled up tits and stop ruining our gravy train. That was an amazing idiom.
Yeah, he died too quick.
He died really unceremoniously.
Yeah, just the main character, kind of, you know.
He's like the main friend of Nicolas Cage's, of Johnny Blaze.
You don't need no friends.
We haven't even talked about Johnny Blaze or the mythos or anything yet. We'll get to it. But he's the main character's like sidekick. Like, he died completely unceremoniously. A demon walked in, gave him the ice touch,
Dead.
He fell down, and then when Johnny Blaze notices it in his apartment,
0.1 seconds.
He just goes, Mac, and then walks right past him, and then
his lady's on the floor.
Yeah.
His tits are on the floor.
He's got to grab those, dude. He's got bigger priorities. But yeah, zero afterthought, like zero reflection over Mac's death.
Yeah.
They don't bring him up later.
No, moves on. Yeah. He's over it.
It's just over.
Yeah. Gone.
1 second.
Who cares?
Yeah, so biscuit wheels, man.
Biscuit wheels, booty whiskey.
Booty whiskey. In its prime. Yes. This movie feels like a really good start to booty whiskey.
100%.
I gotta say.
Yeah, I don't know if we could have chosen a better one. It's just so lighthearted, and you can't take it seriously.
Yeah, you got to ease into the Nick Cage with like the whimsical approach.
Totally.
We'll get to the heavier
You can't start with Wicker Man.
No. There's too much buildup. Like there's too much expectation. The lore around that scene. No, we've got to prove ourselves to get to Wicker Man.
100%.
Listeners might be interested in our intent to create a Nicolas Cage film tournament bracket.
Correct. Sports.
Go
sports.
We're going to do a March Madness-esque bracket system.
Yes.
And after we've done enough episodes to fill a bracket, we will do the bracket. So
yes, it'll be a whole episode to itself. You're going to know who the Master Nick Cage award goes to.
Yeah.
It's the Chef's Choice Award.
It's going to be an objective measurement system. We're going to. It's totally not just going to be based on what we feel. There's going to be like an objective rubric.
Totally.
We're going to get like real. We're going to put our film critic pants on.
Yeah, but we're also not going to take any advice from Rotten Tomatoes, any of that shit. I don't care what anyone says.
No, yeah, the critics are the critics are obsolete.
Yeah. No, this is 2024.
We are the film industry now.
That is correct.
Throw your Oscars in the trash.
Come get a Chef Choice.
Get a Chef's Choice.
Lovely. Man.
Okay. What do you have written down there for us?
I have a couple things, couple categories that I might go over. I want to talk about what bored you, what you didn't like in this movie.
There was a lot.
A substantial amount. I have 3 big points. First off, the whole backstory. I don't care.
God,
I don't care his dad has
slow.
cancer. I have no feelings, no sympathy for him. I want to see Nick Cage be Nick Cage. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not only was the like prologue boring,
god awful,
it was also just extremely ham-fisted, poorly written, and shallow. It was like every single backstory you've ever seen in a movie that was geared towards teenagers.
Couldn't get through it faster.
Was not thoughtful. Was not.
We
the
could have
characters
skipped it.
Were dull.
We could have skipped the whole thing.
Yeah. Pro tip.
Don't watch
the
beginning of this movie.
If you're going to watch Ghost Rider, jump about 18 minutes in, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be happier for it. There is nothing important. Here's the whole gist of it. Dad has cancer. Devil knows this. Dad and kid, they ride motorcycles. Danger.
Danger. Evil Knievel.
Yeah. They have a strained relationship, but they care about each other. Devil offers boy chance to save dad. Boy,
cancer-free.
Boy takes chance. Oops, it was a trick. Dad dies anyways.
The devil.
Cut to adult life. Now the movie starts. Right when it zooms into Nicolas Cage's adult eyes, you can start the movie.
No, you're in for a treat after that. Yeah. Don't waste your time.
That intro was extremely boring. The actors were boring. The characters were one-dimensional.
But that also leads into the entire build-up of him becoming the Ghost Rider. It's fine, you know. I'm there for it. I'm watching it, you know. I want to see him become the Ghost Rider, so I'm gonna stay, you know. But my God,
it's another full arc of like really predictable tropes.
Yeah,
like
he's gonna jump the motorcycle.
Oops, he crashed. Oh, he can't die.
Devil's keeping him alive.
Yeah, and then he's like. Doesn't want to watch. He's super famous. Doesn't want to watch himself on TV. He's more interested in watching like nature documentaries and apes.
Jelly bean martinis.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the jelly bean martini glass.
What the fuck? So for me, I had a couple things in my head. I was like, is this because he knows he can't die, so he's just engorging himself on, you know, like horrible food for himself, or does he just love
overindulgence?
Yeah,
I think.
Does he just love those colors of jelly beans?
I think it was a way for the writers to. So he's a straight edge. It should be noted. Yeah. He does not drink. No
cigarettes.
He also refuses to smoke later on
in interrogation. Yeah.
Oh, he's a Puritan. He's a Puritan, and there's probably backstory, religious allegory reasons why he would be puritanical.
I'm sure. Something in the Old Testament.
Just in terms of like hitting the themes of his retribution and being like an unholy angel or whatever they're trying to do.
Supernatural.
Point is, he's sober, and I think the martini glass with jelly beans was a way for the filmmaker to like sort of hit that nail on the head early on. Because everyone else has alcohol, and they offer him some, and then he pulls up. He's like, "No thanks." He has his little fucking martini glass with jelly beans in it.
I don't drink martinis. I drink martoonies.
Yeah, and they are yellow, orange, and red because those are the color of fire.
Boom.
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
Only eats a Blaze mix.
Do you think they had a special Blaze mix?
What is this tropical mix?
I don't use these pastels.
It's fucking cotton candy.
It's
go back.
Roll.
Get me the Blaze mix.
Take this back to your server.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah,
the martini glass really caught me off guard. I was not expecting that level of whimsy.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah,
I like it. Another terrible thing the whole time. They tried. It was 2007. My perspective is skewed. CGI, dude.
Oh yeah.
The teeth. So the incessant teeth through the face of every single character in that movie. Oh my god.
So they were still in the phase of CGI where it was like superimposed onto the screen. It wasn't like perfectly.
Well, it wasn't tracked through like those little knobs. Or
exactly. It wasn't mocapped.
Yeah.
Enough, and it wasn't like integrated in like 3-dimensional ways into the character. It was just sort of. It was like a layer superimposed onto the other layer, which is really bad.
It looks so bad.
Dude. It was like every time the devil would grin, they'd like superimpose his ghost teeth onto his face. Yeah, ghost teeth
or like the ghost shark teeth of the one fucking vampire dude. It's or so
like
bad.
They'd give that one demon like wind hair, like all around him, just like we get it.
The wet guy.
Yeah, the wet guy.
Okay. Don't even get me started on the wet guy.
Save the wet guy. We're going to talk about his dripping, sopping hairstyle. But yeah, the CGI was rough. It was overused as well. You could tell they were like trigger happy with the technology. It was like sort of new.
And it's funny too, because we were talking about X-Men recently. Yeah. Great CGI in comparison, and that was 7 years prior.
True.
Like, it's just,
they didn't lean on it as much.
No,
they just used it
tasteful.
When it was used as a necessary tool instead of like.
They probably also had quite a few practical effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really felt like, you know, when you get like a new laptop and you're in like.
Got to use every little function.
Yeah. Like, or like you're just a kid and you like finally get into like iMovie or like GarageBand or something, and you just start abusing whatever the first effect is that you learn.
Yeah.
That's what these filmmakers
do. Fisheye camera. That's perfect.
They're just like, more CGI, that'll make it better.
You can just hear the producer in the back. Yeah. This is how we make movies.
Do we have the ghost teeth on hand? It's like, sir, we've already used those ghost teeth
twice. 7
times. Like, I'm shooting for 5 times, guys. Let's make it happen.
We're going to make 300 mil with this one, baby.
The skull was really bad. The
skull was
flaming skull
pretty terrible.
It just did not look good.
No. It didn't look like a human skull.
It was felt like a stock image skull.
Plastic. Very plasticky.
I do want to give a honorable mention / shout out to the fat emo girl who he saves in his first.
Fat Amy, baby.
Fat Amy.
From Pitch Perfect. 1, 2, and 3.
She was very funny. She gave like a borderline like Wu-Tang Clan hand signal to the camera guy.
Description of fire too.
It's just like around his head, like. Yeah, she was a good good little cameo. I liked that.
Totally.
Speaking of the first scene where he goes flaming skull on them, I've got beef with that.
Yeah. Why?
He has no training.
Yeah.
They did not do any work in the movie to like show him.
Where's the Rocky training sequence?
Yeah,
bro?
There was no montage.
Yeah.
He didn't like. He just went from being normal Johnny Blaze to being the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And like how did he learn how to make a chain magical? How did he learn
he
how to
imbues his everything with magic and fire.
Yeah, he like transforms his motorcycle.
Yeah. Though that, I will say, the CGI on those, pretty tasteful.
Was decent.
Yeah, was okay.
That's a moment where you're supposed to do CGI, like transform the bike. It like makes sense that it would be there.
Yeah. And it's so much easier when it's not a human face, you know?
Yes.
We know what those look like. A bike can look like whatever.
The psychology of looking at a face is very deep.
For sure.
And it's not for motorcycles. No. Especially when they're like already, like a ridiculous stunt chopper, already it looks so bizarre and strange. Like it's hard to even like wrap your head around.
And if you're not aware of the individual parts, you're not going to know what those do.
I don't know what that fucking exhaust pipe is supposed to look like. So it doesn't matter when it's all wrong in the CGI. But he never got a training montage. He meets his like quote unquote mentor character after he kills a demon.
Who am I to add is Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
Sam Elliott is probably the
voice.
Single best part of this movie other than Nick Cage.
Nick Cage and Fat Amy, those are my three. And the tits. It's fine.
Yeah, the movie is bookended by Sam Elliott, the Marlboro Man, for those of you struggling to picture him. He's most known for his voice. Got that maple molasses deep western voice.
He also plays Ron in Eagleton on Parks and Rec.
Nice, yeah. Yep. The counterpart to
Ron.
To Ron. Liberal counterpart. So he's the introductory narrator. He says, the thing about legends is sometimes they're true. Which I also wrote down as a memorable quote.
Sometimes they're true.
He then goes from being just the narrator to being a character in the movie. He's revealed to actually physically exist in the world.
He's Papa Ghost Rider.
He's the OG Ghost Rider who rides a flaming horse. You find that out later.
I think it's alluded that he's 150 years old, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah.
He's the original one.
OG.
Well, maybe not the original.
No, I'm sure.
The previous one.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some sort of like Gothic era.
For sure.
You know.
Rode an elephant or something. Yeah. It's not Gothic. You know what I mean?
Oh, Hannibal, a little Gothic. Whatever. We're not fucking historians.
Nope.
We're Nicolas Cage fans. Cut us some slack.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. The fact that I even know the word Hannibal and I'm not talking about Dr. Lecter is
huge.
You know, huge. Give me some fucking credit. But yeah, he shows up sort of as the mentor type of archetype. He like was the old Ghost Rider, teaches Johnny Blaze about what's happening to him.
Devil's bounty hunter.
But the devil's bounty hunter.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
But he doesn't train him. No. He doesn't teach him like spells or magic or like how to fight.
Just tells him his chopper's out back.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the fight scenes in this movie sucked ass.
Every single one.
They were really bad fights.
Really bad. Like, the tornado. The fucking fire tornado for the air guy.
So
terrible.
The air all the demons on Team Evil were there were different elementals. One of them was wind, and he's squaring up with Ghost Rider on top of a roof. It's looking
skyscraper.
Yeah. One of those Texas skyscrapers.
Those notorious Texas skyscrapers.
Known for their 80-story tall buildings. They're squaring up for what looks like it's about to be a pretty epic battle. It's like they're building the music, the weather, getting there was like all epic. And then he fucking one-shots this guy.
One shot, kill shot.
He tries to hit him, and the air guy, the hit just goes through him because he's air. And he taunts him. He's like, you can't touch me.
He's up there floating.
So he's like, oh, I can't touch you. So he just lights his chain on fire and makes a whirlwind. Instant kill.
Yeah.
Like,
death.
The demon never even got a hit. And that was not an unusual fight. No, like most of the fights went that way.
He killed the Earth dude instantly.
Instantly.
Yeah. He had a little struggle with the water guy, but then he just boiled him alive. It was really easy.
The struggle consisted of the water guy pulling him into the water because he got the drop on him. But once they were grappling, no hits were landed.
It's fine. Also, he can ride his bike on top of water. That is an important note in this story.
Yeah,
he's actually a little Jesus-y.
Yeah, he rode on top of what river would that be then? The Grand Canyon?
It looked like a swamp. I don't know. It was a musty swamp.
Yeah, he rode his... I'm going to say they went to New York at some point. He rode his bike on the Hudson Canal. But yeah, pretty incredible power set. I did want to investigate with you, like, what is the Ghost Rider's general power level? In the world of Marvel heroes, it was very unclear to me while watching this who was powerful, who was weak, what was everyone's power, like how are they used?
I'm like trying to like relate him to other Marvel characters. So like I think he could beat Captain America, right? I think he could fuck up Captain America.
I think so.
I think
he's a demon.
Yeah.
Like,
just wrap him in your chains and burn him alive. You know, it is what it is. He has a shield. You know?
Yeah, like Captain America is just a really strong human guy.
Yeah.
Like he's very strong and durable, but
I don't know. Wait, read the description for his power levels again.
Okay. Eldritch powers.
Eldritch.
So he's an eldritch demon of some sort. Ghost Rider uses numerous mystical abilities to punish the guilty and save innocent lives. His chief weapon is called the Penance Stare, an ability picked up from his brother, Danny Ketch. That was not addressed.
Not even
He
close.
does not have a brother in the movie.
No, he does not.
So this is specific to the comics,
Yes.
what I'm reading right now. But by gazing into the soul of the guilty, Ghost Rider causes the affected party to relive all the harm they've done to anyone else over the years. This stare leaves its victim permanently catatonic. Okay, so that's pretty powerful.
It's pretty powerful.
If he can stare
if it's
directly,
a bad person. Though,
yeah,
that's the thing.
Exactly. You have to be evil for him to be powerful against you.
Which doesn't tie into the whole he's working for the devil, right?
Yeah.
You know, like the whole agent of the
That's
hell.
another conceptual problem I have with this story. And I want to tackle that after the power level thing.
Yeah.
But I did have questions about the morality of the Ghost Rider.
Totally.
And I do want to explore that a little bit.
Well, so what? He's got his chain, his super speed, his super strength, and the stare.
Here's the chain. Mystical metal chain bathed in hellfire, which can be used as both a weapon and to bind his enemies. I would say that's still a weapon.
Yeah.
Johnny can infuse any motorcycle with hellfire or even conjure up a vehicle from nothing. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here's his strength level, described as supernaturally strong. The demon inside Blaze, Zarathos. So it's got a name.
Sick. Okay, so it is a separate entity.
It's a separate entity that lives
that
within
makes sense
him.
with his change in everything then.
And that maybe explains why he didn't need training. Because it's not him.
Well, it's Zarathos.
Zarathos just took over.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. Zarathos is among the upper echelon of demons as far as his power level, meaning Ghost Rider can grapple with the universe's strongest when necessary. The universe's.
Thanos.
That means like Thanos. Doctor
Ghost
Strange.
Rider version. Where the fuck why didn't they hire Nick Cage for the Avengers, bro? That's what I wanted.
It's only the human host that holds the demon back from its full power.
Okay. All right.
So potentially he's got like cosmic level strength.
It's just though it's a situationally applicable, right?
It's gonna have to do with like the integrity of the host.
Yeah. That's weird to me.
This also opens up the possibility that like any other hero could also become the Ghost Rider. So you could potentially have like a Captain America Ghost Rider crossover situation.
That wouldn't be good for anybody going against him.
Extremely morally righteous, supernaturally strong asshole. So we've sort of touched a power level.
Yeah, it's confusing without the context from the comics. It's like
none of that was explained in the movie.
Nothing.
Like they really blow past all of these questions.
It's not important. He's Nick Cage and he's fucking
just
people up.
one-shotting demons with a single punch or a fire chain. Like it's not important. So yeah, the morality of this.
Very confusing.
He is possessed by a demon,
Zarathos.
Zarathos.
You fool.
I'm so dishonored.
I know.
Cut my hair off now. Zarathos is the Ghost Rider. Johnny Blaze is the stunt motorcycle human vessel.
Yeah.
The relationship was forged by him signing a contract with Mephisto, I just read, not the devil.
Which we didn't even touch on the contract. Didn't mean to do it on purpose. He cut himself on a thorn on the contract.
Yeah.
Signed it. Devil's like, good enough for me, baby.
Yeah. Early in the movie, it's supposed to be this like choice where Johnny Blaze decides to save his father. What actually happens in the scene is he accidentally pricks his thumb on like a sharp part of the contract.
Very unclear where.
Very unclear. He then accidentally bleeds onto the signature line, and the devil's like, good enough. Takes the contract.
This shall do.
Which is an extremely weak, character arc.
Hardly a binding agreement.
Legally, it's bunk.
Very
Any lawyer with his salt is going to take the devil to court over that one.
Yeah.
But also, just from, writing perspective, the character, that's a non-commit. He didn't actually make the choice.
No, they should have had him.
They should have had him
cut his hand and do it.
Right, cut your hand with a dagger. And you want to save your dad.
Or fucking wrench from your motorcycle, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything that is not just, oopsie.
Really non-committal and lame. It's oops, I accidentally...
I guess I'm the ghost.
He slipped on a banana peel and became the Ghost Rider. It's real cop-out. But, so he works for... Who we were watching the movie, we thought it was the devil because they
very much so made it seem like the devil. Very much
show him as the devil.
Mephistos?
Mephisto is the name I just read, who is a lesser demon.
Everyone knows Mephisto, bro.
So Mephisto is a demon from hell. He's the one who controls Zarathos, or Zarathos works for him. He's the devil's bounty hunter. And
so Mephisto is the devil's lawyer?
I guess. I'm the paperwork guy.
Yeah, I'm the blood lawyer.
I don't touch the souls.
I got no business with that.
Yeah, you get the souls, take them over there. He's a bureaucrat. Middle management.
Hell's bureaucrat. All right.
So why the fuck is Ghost Rider good?
Couldn't tell me.
He defends the innocent and punishes the vicious.
And causes property damage everywhere he goes, no matter what.
Destroyed downtown Manhattan.
Or Dallas, depending.
Dallas, Houston area.
Yeah.
Some urban Texan environment that was New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
My question was, why? What about Zarathos is compelled to, protect the good and punish the evil when he's working for... What I think they tried to
convey throughout the movie was it was the human side of that relationship that was doing that. It was the reason for taking vengeance on. Because with the way they ended it with saying, "I'm gonna get back," take care of all of the evil in the world, all that bullshit.
Yeah, when Johnny Blaze refuses to end the contract, even though the devil is offering to end it, and he's like, I'm going to keep my powers and use them to defeat you.
But one of his main powers, the penance stare, is that... It's
about you having done evil.
Yeah.
And me judging you for it, making you relive it. So he's this morally righteous demon. And why is
Mephisto... He was an angel.
He was?
Yeah.
Zarathos?
Yeah. I thought that's what he said. Yeah, that he was one of the ones that fell from hell. Or fell from heaven.
I didn't read that, but... They did say that...
Maybe you said he was in the upper echelon.
Upper echelon of the demons, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is a power level.
Yeah.
But yeah, very confused about the morals, the source of the morality here.
Yeah. Who knows?
And I understand that, obviously, bad people... Within the mythos of, the Christian hell, evil... sinners go to hell.
Yeah.
So the devil is after the sinners.
Yes.
But not necessarily to punish them because they're sinners, right? Is the devil a good guy?
That's confusing because it depends on what denomination you're referring to and all of that shit. Because in some hells, it's, he's being punished or people are being punished for their sins. But in some, it's just sex and debauchery. So it's
yeah, I guess it's a matter of interpretation of who Satan is.
Yeah.
His moral character. Because Satan, I think, most religious, interpretations have Satan as being a fallen angel, someone who, questioned God.
Yeah.
And because he questioned, that means he's not, faithful or...
fully devout.
He wasn't obedient.
Yeah.
Which is why, the Satanic Church uses that as a symbol for, science and secular humanism.
Yeah.
Progressivism is Satan's a perfect symbol for that.
It is. I love the Satanic Church.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they're fucking awesome.
Because blind faith is for fools.
Yes.
And you should ask questions, and a just God would never want you not to ask questions. So,
dude, it just reminds me of the story where God punishes, I can't remember, whoever. He punishes someone I think it could have been like Abraham or something.
One of those guys.
Yeah, and it says if you don't, I think it's
Job.
Maybe it's about his son.
Yeah, he makes him kill his son.
Kill his son to prove how much he loves him or something. It's like, what?
And then right at the end, he goes, psych.
Yeah, just kidding.
He's like about to plunge a dagger into his son's heart.
Like,
and he's like, no,
yeah,
you passed the test.
You proved it. Yeah. It's
now you're
fucking
going to
psychotic.
Yeah. Old Testament God is psychotic.
Yeah.
I would say he's evil.
And they even brought up the Old Testament in this, so they're probably running off of Old Testament God.
Hollywood, I think, likes to run off of Old Testament God. It's much more theatrical.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah. New Testament that got dumbed down by
very Indiana Jones, you know. Yeah. Temples, beating hearts, blood rituals.
And a lot of fantasy, too, you know, a lot more than the New Testament.
Much better storytelling.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
no
sir.
Easter eggs in the Old Testament.
Right. Laying out flat for you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So that was an interesting point, trying to work out the morality and the power levels for me. Those were the two sort of conceptual, I'll say, issues I had while watching. They're not necessarily like issues I have with the story overall, but like while watching,
it was confusing.
It raised the hairs on the back.
It made me think about
what
that.
is happening right now.
Definitely. Death as an overall concept was pretty prevalent, but it wasn't handled great. You know, daddy issues were huge too. You know?
The demon had daddy issues. Mm-hmm. Johnny Blaze had daddy issues.
Yeah.
The girl had daddy issues.
Yeah.
Everybody was in a conflict with their father.
Yeah. I don't know why, necessarily. I mean, I guess that could be tying into stuff with God overall, the devil himself.
The father and son. Yeah.
Fucking beats me, man.
Or the writer's just weird. The writer's got daddy issues.
Probably. I imagine.
It's hard to know, as someone who has not read the comics, like how much to attribute to the comics and how much to attribute to this screenplay.
Yeah.
I really just don't know the source material enough.
And Nick Cage. Who knows how much he just let it play.
We's like forcing the writers to edit the scripts.
Yeah,
this isn't going to work for me, man.
I'm sure.
In his Elvis voice.
Dude.
Doing his hand at the writer. We're going to rewrite this because it's not enough daddy issues. I'm going through a phase right now, mama. Little mama, come on.
Come on now.
Pick that pen up.
Oh, that's so fucking good.
I could see him being meddlesome. Because Nick Cage does consider himself to be a man of the craft. He's very like artistic.
Yeah.
The way he thinks of what he does. So he's definitely not above wearing different hats.
Totally.
Producer, writer.
You know, and that ties into just this whole series for me. I am so excited to rewatch all these Nick Cage movies. Like just seeing him go on this journey of our picked out representations of his career is going to be so fun.
Such a big part of my childhood, honestly.
Yeah,
all those big budget action movies from the late 90s, early 2000s were huge, dude.
Love them.
The Rock, Face Off. I can't believe we forgot those.
I know. Yeah.
We're going to have to update our list.
Yeah, our list is going to be busting.
We've got a long list that's already like too long to do.
Yeah, so y'all got to stay tuned. It's going to keep going. Keep rolling.
It's funny because we're going to do this sort of bracket tournament at the end, but even to get there, we're going to have to do some sort of like elimination.
Oh, yeah.
Off mic to even like decide which one.
It's going to be hard, too.
If you had asked me what like 16 movies we should do, Ghost Rider would not have been one.
No.
We really picked Ghost Rider because Kaylin wanted to watch it most. I'm very glad that we watched it because it's a really low pressure.
Absolutely. Movie. Such a casual introduction.
Yeah. No strong opinions. Mm-mm. Like none of the hardcore Nick Cage fans are going to get on my ass about like not knowing the source
disagree,
material.
We have something to talk about. You know?
Oh, and we will be bringing the hammer down on any people who disagree with us because our critical reviews are God.
Yeah, no, we are chefs.
That's sort of we choose. Yeah, just let us cook.
Yeah, oh, beautiful. My God, sweet man. Well, I think that's about covering it for me.
Yeah, I've said
that
everything
was Ghost Rider. That was Ghost Rider.
All right, you're listening to. Whatever the fuck our name
Booty
is.
Whiskey.
Yeah, that's Booty Whiskey.
That's Booty Whiskey
that's
podcast.
Ghost Rider episode
Nicolas
1.
Cage, 2007.
Glory.
Glory to God.
Be to God.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys for listening.
yearning. Booty shaking, whiskey pouring and turning. Marvel's worst hero fighting evil with a blazing rage. Cage levels off the charts, booty whiskey setting the stage. Cage's hairline receded and wispy. He probably should have drank booty whiskey. Eva Mendes wants his love because he's sexy. He's a badass stunt driver with a flaming skull and a chain whip. Mother-loving Ghost Rider, it's Nicolas Cage. He's got the Elvis style, he's here to reconcile. Mother-loving Ghost Rider, it's Nicolas Cage. He's got the Elvis style, he's here to reconcile. Booty Whiskey, best podcast in history. Our microphones are hot like Cage's intensity. Whiskey flowing alive in the studio. Give us a little break, it's just the first episode. No one can stop the Ghost Rider. Is this the best Nicolas Cage movie?